Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, make sure you guys check out the Telegram like usual. Left link to that in the chat and also the description below. Feel free to go check that out. Post different trading setups there for each week, and also, like always, guys, if you're looking at any pairs. You've got some pairs on your watch list, you're trading some pairs, or you're eyeing up some pairs. Feel free to share, let us know, drop it down in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. What's up, Rex? How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. But yeah, guys, another stream for us. I'm going to talk you through what's going on in the charts this week, or so far at least. And yeah, we're going to start with Euro USD. So Euro USD, we've seen some nice downside for this pair coming over from last week, and then we did find support and saw a big push to the upside. What are you saying, Hussein? Hope you are doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. But yeah, Euro USD is a pair that I do have on my watch list, actually. Especially with the daily close that we had yesterday. So if we're going to daily quickly, you can see nice spike to the downside. Looking at this area, I said in my weekly analysis, this is kind of the area where I'm looking for either price to break through for Euro USD or hold. If it does hold, I'm looking for buys back up into this resistance. If it does break through, then I'm expecting Euro USD probably to come back to these lows and just see that that bearish trend continue, but potentially it might not. We might see a swing back up again. So I'm looking to see what happens. So far from a daily point of view, nice rejection candle there. So I'm just going to see if we can hold on to that and see if we can get a double bottom or a higher low, something like that. And yeah, I will be looking for buys for Euro USD back up again, or unless we just come back down, break through that area, start holding as resistance, then I'll change my bias, look for those sells, and potentially look for around the 1.17 mark, maybe slightly lower, and take the shorts to the downside. But because of that daily close, it's giving me the impression that potentially price is going to hold on to that and see a swing to the upside. So I'm looking for buys for Euro USD, but I'm aware if we do go and break through it, there's a good chance we're heading back down to those lows there. So we'll see what happens there with Euro USD. So far the market is a little bit too bearish for me, so like I said, wait for a double bottom or a higher low, something like that, before I do buy, because I do have to respect that bearish structure first. But yeah, if Euro USD can hold into this, buys back up to 1.189 around there, maybe even 1.19 as well. Okay, shorting pound CHF, Rex. So yeah, pound CHF, we did see some crazy moves to the upside yesterday. I think we finished the week around here, and as you can see, just another big move to the upside. Price for pound CHF has really been moving to the upside here. Very like textbook pullbacks here, and you expect price to probably take a breather by now, but still be moving to the upside here for pound CHF, back into these highs all the way up there on the daily time frame. So a big move for pound CHF. You can see there on the daily, big push to the upside. We're back into this key level of resistance here, around the 1.28 mark. As you can see, if I just take that all across there for pound CHF, really key area of resistance here for this pair. Price support there, nice move to the upside, resistance, and for the past since April, we've been failing to break through this area. We've been having multiple tests of this resistance, and like I said, since April, still failing to break through it. Probably am expecting this level to break eventually, but who knows when that will actually happen. But yeah, we're coming into a really key resistance, a nice resistance this short, as you can see, really nice rejections in the past. So yeah, if we can hold on to this, pound CHF shorts do look good. For me, it's a little bit early. It's a little bit early for me to get into shorts. Again, I don't know how you enter your trades, or whether things you look for to enter your trades. For me, I wouldn't have entered yet. But yeah, it's at a really nice level that potentially, if we can hold, pound CHF is looking like some downside, especially on the hourly time frame. Did see some nice rejection there with that hourly candle. Again, probably going to wait for a bit more than that, but right now it's at a really nice area. So yeah, if pound CHF can hold on to that, then downside it is looking good, especially because I was expecting some downside coming into pound CHF this week from, I think we opened the market here, we saw this price action yesterday, so I was expecting some downside yesterday for pound CHF actually. We have this resistance here, and we were seeing some really nice wicks at this area from last week, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some nice resistance here, taking it across there. See 1, 2, 3 wicks there. So I was looking for some downside yesterday. However, as you can see, Monday was just really bullish, pushing to the upside, back to the resistance there. So it's a very key level. If we can hold on to that downside, it is looking good. Targets probably expect price to come back and retest that area. To be fair, just see another swing back down. As you can see here, mad swing to the downside. Just looking for probably a swing back down to 1.27. So yeah, if we can hold on to that, shorts do look good, but a bit early for me. We might push up a little bit more. So hopefully you left a little bit room for your stop loss there, because you might see price take out that high again. But yeah, it's a great area. If you do hold on to that, shorts do look good. Yeah, sure thing. Pound AUD, we'll take a look at Pound AUD. Pound AUD, big move to the upside again. Looks like we're just seeing pretty much a strength all across the board from pound for every pair, pretty much. Pound USD, I'm pretty sure, has had a big move to the upside recently. Pound AUD as well. Actually, AUD did see some news overnight. I did see that for Aussie dollar, a lot of weakness, so Pound AUD, big move to the upside, but like I said, Pound is strong as well, so this one is looking very strong here. Again, coming into this week, was looking for is still looking for shorts for Pound AUD. Seen some nice upside. I think we're just coming back into a key level of resistance or support. You can see here we had a really key level of support here taken across. The market kind of used that area of support and now it's bombing off to the upside. I'm looking at this resistance here. I think a couple of weeks ago, not last week, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even 3 weeks ago, I was talking about the potential head and shoulders pattern that could be coming on for Pound AUD here. So we've got the shoulder there, head there, looking for that test of that shoulder, looking for a swing to the downside. So was looking for that. The price just dumped to the downside without really coming back to test that area, but it's coming back to test it now. And I do think if you can hold on to that, it would be a really nice trade there, at least just to fill the range to the downside there for Pound AUD. Just fill the range from that resistance into this support like we had previously. So Pound AUD is still looking a lot bullish here. I think a little bit more upside back into this resistance here. And then, like I said, if you can get some nice rejection, I think a swing back down to 1.87800, let's say there. So shorts for Pound AUD do look good. A bit premature right now because of how bullish things are right now. It's not at the key level yet anyway. It's coming to 1.89, so nice psychological level, but not an area that I'd want to short at anyway. So yeah, a bit more upside. If you can see some nice rejection from there, we'll look to short Pound AUD back down into that support there, because it is, looking quite bullish here. Yeah, I'm having trouble pronouncing. I need to drink some water, clear my throat. Yeah, AUD is weak all over because we had news over the night. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember we had some high impact news last night for Aussie dollar. So yeah, we did see a lot of weakness from that, and a lot of Pound AUD, Euro AUD, big moves to the upside. AUD CHF, we did see some movement to the downside for this one. Does look like it's short-lived a little bit, as you can see, nice drop. AUD CAD, AUD USD. So yeah, we did see a lot of weakness for AU, not so much for NZD, which do move quite similar. AU and New Zealand dollar do move quite similar. As you can see for NZD, not exactly the same price action. In fact, it's looking a little bit bullish, to be fair with you, actually. Looking a little bit bullish here across the board. NZD, we're pushing up for a lot of these pairs. So yeah, it's definitely the news that has caused that weakness for Aussie dollar, but we're also seeing strength in the pound as well this morning. You see Pound USD bombing off to the upside. A very big breakout there, retesting this support, and I think we're onwards and upwards to 1.39 up here. So I did have Pound USD on my watch list for buys coming today, but I've kind of missed that. As you can see, price is looking really bullish right now. Was looking to see if we can come back, hold this as support, which we did, but I just didn't wake up when that was happening, and then I woke up, price was already pushing to the upside. So if we can come back down, great, form a higher low, then yeah, I'll look to scale into some buys and targets at 1.39, just basically the next psychological level. yeah, I'm expecting a move back to 1.39 because it looks like the DXY potentially is going to see some weakness as well. So I'm just looking to take advantage of that. Hence why I'm trying to buy Euro USD as well. But yeah, it's looking like pound is a lot very bullish right now. So I'm not too sure we will get that retracement. So it probably means that yeah, pound USD might just continue to the upside there. I'm well. How are you, Trends United? Hope you're doing well, bro. Oh, so we had pound news today. Yeah, that explains it because pound is very strong, and yeah, that explains why price wicked to the downside, close so bullish with that candle there. Because yeah, I haven't checked the news for today. I did for last night, but I did not check the news for today. So I'm gonna go check it now, just to make sure I don't miss anything else. But yeah, that makes so much sense now because we're seeing a lot of strength in the pound, and it all happened at the same time as well. So it does make sense if there was some news. Yeah, there was news at 7 a.m. this morning. Explains it because I woke up after 7 and then I did see a big spike to the upside when I was looking to buy pound USD, but it's really pushing to the upside. So yeah, that makes perfect sense there. Yeah, and pound is just looking pretty bullish right now. Yeah, pound USD, I was looking to buy it like I just said, but yeah, I've missed that. If anything, I'm waiting for price to retrace back down, but I'm not too sure if it will. Because like you said, pound is really bullish right now. But yeah, I'm thinking pound USD is pushing to basically this resistance up here. On the daily time frame, 1.39 really key resistance, and it's basically just holding this support here and just filling the range to the upside basically. So we've got really nice support, we held this, it looks like price just moving back into that resistance up there, 1.39, and just completing that swing there. So I was looking at buys coming into today, but you can see we're pushing to the upside quite aggressive. So I wouldn't look for sells, even though yes, it's coming to resistance. I think it's going to push past that resistance. A lot of liquidity above this high here, a lot of liquidity above that high there as well. I think we'll probably take that out, especially with the price action we're seeing now as well, and with the news coming in being so positive. So yeah, I'm thinking 1.39 from there. There might be some nice sells. Really strong resistance here, did reject us to the downside, so we might see something there again. But yeah, I think onwards and upwards for pound USD, and if you look to sell, I would say wait for 1.39, wait for price to take these highs out first, because a lot of people will be selling here, and I think they'll just get taken out. Or if we do get lucky and we see, what am I looking for? If we see pound USD retrace, then yeah, some buys back up to 1.39, but yeah, I'm not too sure if we will get that. So yeah, not too sure. But yeah, sells from 1.39 could look good if we get some price action, or buys from back here if we do pull back. So that's what I'm looking there for pound USD. But if anything, I'm probably expecting price just to continue. Morning, Vela, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. Hope everyone had a great weekend. But yeah, we're seeing some crazy momentum here for pound recently. Okay, yeah, we do have some US dollar news coming out at 1:30, so again, about 3 hours from now. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the DXY, and again, I've been a bit back and forth with the DXY recently. I've been having bullish bias, bearish bias, bullish bias, bearish bias, and you can see why if I zoom out. Price is just a little bit sideways here. For the DXY, but I do have a slight bearish bias. Not saying I'm expecting a collapse, but I do think we'll see some downside here, simply because price is really rejecting a nice area of resistance here in the 4H, and is failing to break through that area, which is this area here. Nice double top there. We saw some nice downside, come into that area again, strong rejection, come into that area again, strong rejection. And basically my bias is, as long as this level stays intact, so we don't break through it, I'm probably going to expect to see another push back into this support down here for the DXY. If we did take this out, and then yeah, I think some upside will be looking good. But I think especially with that price action there, I think we're going to see some downside for the DXY. And we do have this trend line in place, so probably expecting another test of that trend line here. So we might not get, you know, perfectly back down to that support. We might hit the trend line just before it. But yeah, I'm thinking more downside. If I go in the 3 hour, yeah, I'm thinking more downside. That resistance is just holding intact for me. So yeah, I'm thinking more downside. There's a chance that potentially, because I think there might be a bit of a trend line here. So yeah, there's a bit of a trend line here connecting these wicks. Maybe if we can hold on to that, that might give some upside for the DXY. But yeah, for me, as long as that resistance stays in place, I'm expecting more downside for the DXY. But yeah, you're right, you know, coming with that news in later, you know, anything can happen. Probably best to wait for after the news to happen, wait for things to settle, and then we can work out a bias in much more clear fashion, because, you know, it's all well good now having a bias, and then news happens and things look completely different and takes a complete 180. So for me, I'm just going to be looking to see if that resistance can stay intact. If it does, I'm looking for sells for the DXY. We're not selling the DXY, looking for buys for Euro USD, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at this level here as well. I'm looking at this level here as well for Euro USD. I'm just looking for the break and retest essentially here for this level. Resistance there, taking it across, now all reacting as support. Nice wick down the daily for yesterday. So just see if we can get that bounce, and if Euro USD is going to move up, you know, there's a good chance DXY is going to fall. So that's kind of the logic I have behind my bias. Yeah, it might bounce either later today because of the news, or potentially tomorrow. But yeah, it is looking quite weak today. Pretty much it's looking weak across most pairs. You can see USD here, if we go in the 4H time frame, it's looking a little bit weak there. USD CHF, not so much actually, to be honest with you. Looks like it's moving sideways really. USD JPY, this pair is all over the shop anyway, so I'm not going to really use it to determine the strength of the US dollar. Gold is moving down, which is an indication that potentially DXY moves up, because they're kind of inversely correlated. As DXY goes up, gold comes down, and gold is looking quite bearish here, to be fair. And I have a bearish bias on gold anyway, to be honest with you. Gold, we've seen some nice downside last week, a big collapse there. And it looks like we're breaking through this trend line, holding that as resistance, also taking out a really key level on the daily time frame as well. So yeah, I had the bearish bias coming into this week for the DXY. So if the for gold. So if gold does continue down, it does need to see some strength in the DXY to help that move happen. Because if the DXY is falling, you know, gold wouldn't have such a good time falling if the DXY is coming down as well. So for that to happen, DXY does need to go up, and I'm expecting gold to come back down to this support here, basically to the start of that trend line, if it can maintain that as resistance, which it does look like it's doing. So yeah, I'm expecting more downside for gold, which might mean DXY goes up, but you know, we'll see after the news, because that'll hopefully paint a clearer picture, but we'll see. ADCAD, okay, a short thing. ADCAD, nice. If you're in a sell, that's looking good. Price is looking quite bearish here, especially on the 4H time frame. Again, ADCAD is another one of those pairs that's seen a lot of upside in recent days. As you can see, big moves to the upside, coming back into a very key level of resistance here, wicked into a few times. It looks like ADCAD's taking its time to see some downside, but you know, essentially price is rejecting that resistance, and downside is price simply just taking a breather, you know, from this big move. Because ADCAD has looked quite bullish with this momentum. Again, it's still very much in an overall bearish trend here. So you know, you're still selling it in the direction of the bigger picture of the larger trend in the market. But we have seen such aggressive bullishness that potentially might reverse. But you know, for now it's looking bearish. So I think coming into support here could be the next time price does have a bounce or struggles at least. So yeah, it's looking good for ADCAD. especially breaking through this support here in the 4H. So yeah, sales are looking good. I think we'll probably push to the downside a little bit more, come and test this area there on the daily, which is basically 0.92700-ish. Let's say that, slightly underneath that. We'll be acting as support. So yeah, I think potentially that if you can break through that, it can go a lot further. But yeah, Eurocad is looking good. Looks like a great trade there. Vela, well done there. So yeah, back into this support. If we can break through that, we might go a lot further. Maybe back into that resistance there potentially. But yeah, Eurocad is looking good. So that's a nice little trade there. Hey, what you saying, William? Happy birthday! I swear it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, William. Please be your birthday, because if it isn't, that's poor for me. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Just here to leave, like, you probably got birthday celebrations to get going to or something. GJGU longs. Yeah, I mean, I had the feeling that pound JPY was going to go long after what I've seen not tomorrow. I'm not looking in the future. What I've seen yesterday, and yeah, pound JPY is flying here. It's flying to the upside. Again, it's a bit of a tricky one because pound JPY has been a bit of a choppy pair recently, but I think essentially pound JPY is just heading up to that resistance up there, 153, really key resistance. It might break through. If it does, then we might be seeing a lot more upside. But yeah, it's looking really bullish here for pound JPY. And yeah, I think back to 153 pound USD, I was saying earlier as well, looking very bullish as well. Back up to 1.39, breaks through 1.39, then potentially 1.4 up there as well, but essentially holding that as support. So I'm expecting that swing to continue to 1.39, then 1.4 if it does break through that area as well. No problem, William. We're both September babies. Love to see that another September. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Just another someone born in September as well. Yeah, GJ's flying. I'm not sure if that's just pound or is that JPY weakness. Look at Euro JPY. Euro JPY has seen some upside, not as crazy as pound though. CHF a little bit, CAD a little bit. So yeah, I think it's just pound. Pound is just really strong after the news. Pound is just really strong after the news that we saw this morning. So yeah, pound JPY is flying. Pound USD is also looking very strong. And pound pretty much against every other pair is looking strong. I'm pretty sure pound CAD, pound CHF, pound NZD, yeah, we're all looking strong. So yeah, it's just simply pound being strong. And yeah, pound JPY and pound USD, I think we could be on for more upside for those pairs. I was looking to buy pound USD this morning, but yeah, the news kind of just took it out to the upside without me there. So I'm hoping to see some retracement for pound USD. Not too sure if you'll get it though, because pound is looking quite strong right now. So if you do see retracement, great. If not, we'll try and catch the next swing. But yeah, it's looking quite bullish here for basically every pound pair across the board. Yeah, sure thing, Hannah. We'll take a look at Eurocad. Eurocad. So yeah, Eurocad. This pair has been trending to the upside quite nicely on the daily. To be fair, it's a little bit choppy, do you have to admit, but it's been trending to the upside quite nicely. A little bit of a trend line here as well on the daily as well as you connect to those wicks there. So we've been pushing to the upside. We do have very strong resistance going for the chart there. As you can see, really nice rejection. If I drop down to the lower time frames 4H, you can see the trend line coming into place a little bit more. We are looking at a little bit bearish though with the immediate price action. There's a really strong area of support going through here that potentially might want to come back and retest. As you can see, really strong support did give us a big move to the upside. We're looking a little bit bearish here with the price action on the 1H time frame, especially holding that resistance there as well. So I think we'll probably see some downside here for Eurocad, maybe back into that trend line there, then potential buys if you're looking to just continue that that trend on the daily time frame, because every time we do come to the trend line, we do see nice rejections there, nice rejection there, nice rejection, slightly dip below it, but nice rejection essentially, and there as well. So that trend line could be a nice place to buy back into, or you could wait for price to maybe come back into this support down there around 1.48600, where we had all these rejections here, and look to buy from there. That could be a really nice trade. But yeah, we are looking a little bit bearish here. We're holding that resistance, looks like potentially a double top, so probably expect to see some downside for Eurocad. So yeah, I think that trend line could be a nice place to look for some buys, and then targets will probably be, well, targets have to be that resistance to start off, and then you can look at this resistance and then the highs up there, depending how far you want to push the trade, or you can take partials as you go along. Or this support down there is another good place to look for buys there for Eurocad, because the daily is pushing along. Don't really want to trade against that too much. So back into the trend line could be some nice buys there, or that support just below us down there. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting for Eurocad. Right now the daily is a little bit choppy, so I do have to point that out, but if anything, I think Eurocad is good to continue back to that resistance for another attempt, as long as it continues to put in those higher lows there on the daily, which if it does stay above that trend line, that's probably what I expect it to do. It might wick into that support, and then like I said, that'll be a great place to buy. But yeah, if we can hold this trend line or hold that support, buys will be looking good. But for now, it looks like we're going to see some downside to start the day off or the week off, and then yeah, buys from the trend line or that support do look good. So I hope that analysis helped there. No worries, William. Yeah, you do your celebrations, but yeah, happy birthday. Thanks for tuning into the live stream, dropping a like. That does mean a lot. And yeah, I hope you have a good day. But yeah, the main pairs that I'm looking at this morning is Euro USD and Pound USD. Pound USD I'm not looking at too much anymore, just because we had that news at 7 a.m. And prices looking very bullish right now. But Euro USD is a pair that I'm looking at, because if we can hold this resistance, resistance now turns support. So resistance turns support. If we can hold that area, there's a good chance we'll probably see a swing to the upside here for Euro USD back into that resistance over here. If not, if we go and break through it, then we'll look to sell on the retest back into the lows here. So either which way, I think Euro USD could be getting ready for a really nice swing, either upside or downside. I don't really care, as long as I can take a part of that trade. And I'm just waiting to see if we can get some confirmations and work out which way Euro USD wants to go. So far it's looking like potentially you might see a swing to the upside, especially with the price action we're getting on the daily as well. As you can see, a really nice wick to the downside, pull back up. So potentially if you can get a strong close today, nice morning star pattern, could scale into some trades tomorrow on the lower time frames like that hourly or something like that, and just ride that to the upside. And again, the risk reward does look good. It's about 80 pips to that target. So if you can get a 20 pip stop loss, you're looking at a 1 to 4, 30 pip stop loss, maybe a 1 to just underneath a 1 to 3. So it's looking good for the risk reward. But as for current price action, you can see we are still putting in lower highs here for Euro USD. So the market is still bearish immediately. So I don't want to go into that just expecting that support to hold. Want to see if you can get a double bottom or something, or a lower high or head and shoulders, something like that, just to confirm that price is holding on to that support. Then I can scale into some buys and target that resistance up there. Or like I said, if we come back down again, because price is looking a little bit bearish now, if we do come back down again and break through, then on the retest we'll look for those shorts, and again look for support down there near 1.17. So Euro USD is the main pair I'm kind of looking at today. For for some buys. If we break through, then I'll just change my bias. But yeah, looking for some buys for Euro USD. Pound AUD is looking good for potential sells if you can get back into that resistance there. I was talking about potentially a head and shoulders that could be coming on for this pair. So I've got the left shoulder there, the head, and the right shoulder. That could be a nice sell. Still got a little bit of a way to get to that resistance though before, you know, we're actually at that level. But you know, if we do get there and we reject it, that could be something that does look like a nice setup in the near future. But yeah, pound AUD does look good. AUD USD, this pair, we've seen some weakness for AU overnight. Well, overnight for me, I'm not sure about you guys might be living in Asia, but yeah, overnight for me, we've seen some downside because of the Aussie news that came out. Seen some weakness in the Aussie dollar here, and as you can see, we are still looking bearish here on the hourly time frame. But I do believe we might be able to see some upside soon for this pair. If we do see some strength, some weakness, sorry, in the DXY, then I think AUD can see some nice upside. Really nice key daily support here, as you can see, going across there. And essentially, if we can hold on to that, buys will be looking good. As you can see, we've tested this level many times. Coming into it again, still looking bearish now, so I wouldn't get into any buys right now. Still looking too bearish for me, but I think if price action does start to reject this area, so we see something like this, a push to the upside, maybe a swing back down, a higher low, forming like a head and shoulders there, with the neckline being there, left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, that could be a really nice buy coming from that area. And then targets would probably be this resistance up here near 0.74, and then look to target, you know, 0.74 area. And again, the risk to reward is looking quite good on that as well. So it is looking good for some buys on these USD pairs. The key thing to look for is the weakness in the DXY for these pairs to lift off, because obviously if that doesn't happen, then probably price might just break through this level and continue to the downside. If that's the case, then on the break and retest, that could be a nice opportunity as well. But yeah, essentially the DXY needs to keep up that rejection basically from that level and see some downside. We did point out price is coming into this trend line here, so you can see first, second, third, now we're having that fourth test. Probably if you can break through that trend line, then we'll probably see some downside for the DXY. We do have some news coming out later, so that could determine things as well. But yeah, it's a bit too early to get into those trades that I've just talked about just now. It's an idea, and it's an idea that I'm looking at, but not an idea that's confirmed yet. And if it does get confirmed, like always guys, I'll drop it down in my Telegram. You know, post a setup in my Telegram, so if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. The link is at the top of the chat if you just scroll up, or in my description below. But yeah, if I get set up for those pairs, I will let you guys know in the Telegram. But yeah, nothing yet though. A lot of pairs that I've been looking at, but I haven't quite, you know, ticked all the boxes yet. Pound JPY, I was looking for buys there. Still am looking for buys for pound JPY, because I'm expecting a move back into 153. Basically this resistance going across here, and there's still room to capitalize on the opportunity. So I'm looking to see if we can get involved in some buys here. Looks like pound's come up, had a break and retest of this, and it looks like it's moving further to the upside. So I'm looking to see if price can pull back. It's just made a higher high there, so I'm looking to see if price can pull back maybe onto this area, form a nice double bottom, come again, retest it, so 1, 2, and then see some upside back to 153. So yeah, I'm still looking at buys for pound JPY, but you can see it's just looking quite bullish right now. We've just made a higher high here, so I'm not looking to buy that right now. Waiting for price to retrace and then see if you can get involved in some buys there. But yeah, looking for buys for pound JPY. Same thing for pound USD as well, essentially. But yeah, that pound use is kind of sent some trades off that I was looking to get into, so hopefully we can retrace later on. No, I haven't looked at Euro Pound yet. Let's see Euro Pound, because I haven't actually looked at it yet today. Euro Pound is looking quite bearish here, to be fair, especially with that momentum from last week. Looks like it's just continuing into this week here. Going to the 4H time frame, you can see the price action there is definitely looking bearish. We are coming into a very strong area of supply demand, sorry. So we might see a reaction to that, but price action is price action, and you know that price action is still looking very, very bearish here. So I'm probably expecting more downside. We might see Euro GBP start to retrace a little bit, because you know you can see we fell to the downside very aggressively there. We might retrace a little bit, but I think if we do see some upside, it's most likely just to be retraced for price just to continue to the downside, because that price action is looking very, very bearish right now. So yeah, Euro GBP is coming into an area of demand. Probably see some upside from that, but yeah, I think it'll probably just be retracement. So you can look for some buys, but I wouldn't hold on to it for very long, because price will probably turn bearish quite quickly. And then yeah, if you can get some nice rejection at a lower high, maybe at around this area here, 0.85600. From there we might come straight back down again. So yeah, I think Euro Pound looks like it's on its way down, especially from the price action on the daily. So if you're looking for buys, I'll probably just stick to temporary buys there. So don't be too aggressive with your TP, and make sure we probably get stop loss to break even you know, as soon as you can. Not too soon of course, but you know, when you can get it to break even, take some partials. But yeah, I'm expecting a slight push to the upside for Euro Pound just for retracement, but then I think we'll probably come back down and test some key areas of support down here, because essentially price is still looking very bearish. But yeah, good morning William, nice to see you on the stream, hope you're doing well. But yeah, I think more downside for Euro Pound overall, but probably see some retrace first, and then probably price come down after that. Euro JPY, this pair again, I was looking for buys coming into this morning, but it's kind of already pushed on to the upside without me, but it does look like it still has room to retrace. So I'm still looking for buys for Euro JPY coming back into this key level of support. As you can see, a massive move to the upside, just expecting price to play with that support again, another bounce to the upside, and targets will be this resistance here. So basically just playing that range there for Euro JPY from this support back into that resistance, and seeing if we can get a move back into that area. So far the market is still a little bit bearish for me, so I haven't gone to any buys yet. Probably still got this trend line here rejecting price, not looking too good. So I want to see if price can put another lower high in here, another test of that support, either reject it again, form a triple bottom there. That could be nice. Look for buys there, maybe slightly aggressive though, because we can still break through. But if you do look to enter around here, maybe like the hourly time frame, looking for that triple bottom, you know, you can have a fairly tight stop loss, and your risk reward will be looking quite good. So yeah, you could look for the triple bottom there, back up to there, or you wait for price to break above that trend line, retest it, form a higher low, and then take it. Probably the more conservative option, but still both good trades if we can get something like that. So yeah, looking for buys for Euro JPY. Probably expecting to see one more move to the downside first, then once we get that, buys back up again. But yeah, I'm not going to look for Euro JPY buys and pound JPY buys. I'll probably just wait to see whichever comes first, or whichever looks the better option. But yeah, looking to buy both, but I only take one trade just because I want to over trade, double my risk, because the success of both trades will probably be very similar since they're both JPY pairs. So looking for buys for both of them, but will only take one trade when I get it. And like always, if I do get anything, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. But yeah, Euro JPY, if you can hold on to this support, I think buys back up to 130-500, maybe further. But yeah, for now I think buys back to there. But hopefully you can see one more push to the downside first, and then we'll look to scale into some buys later on. Maybe later today, I'm not too sure. Probably tomorrow, to be honest with you, because this is the 4-hour time frame. Might take its time. So yeah, maybe tomorrow that could be a trade. But for now, I think some downside for Euro JPY, but nothing too major, because we are coming back into a major area of support. USD-CAD has been a bit funny for this pair. I've been looking to get involved, but haven't really traded this pair since since we're last over here. So it's been a few days since I've traded USD CAD. I have been looking to trade it, so I've been actively monitoring price action, but I just haven't found a setup that I've really liked yet to take a trade with yet. But we've got this trend line that I'll be looking at to see how we react with it. We've had clearly a false breakout recently where price dipped below. I was looking for more downside there, but price just shot back to the upside and now got back above the trend line. So yeah, I'm looking to see either if USD CAD can break back below that trend line again, put in some lower highs, and probably see some more downside for this pair coming back into this support, maybe support down there, or if we just have another bounce of this daily trend line. If that's the case, then I'm probably going to expect to see USD CAD fly back to the upside again, back into resistance up there. So if that's the case, we could be on for some really nice buys for USD CAD. If we can hold that trend line and just see the continuation, because normally what we do see when we do see manipulations of trend line like that, and you've got a trend line say we're moving to the upside and price is bouncing off the trend line, and you see a nice false break and price come right back in, normally it does come back for that retest, and then we just see that continuation continue. And we saw that in pound CHF recently. If we just flick to pound CHF, as you can see, we had this trend line here. We had a couple false breaks actually. As you can see, false break there, came back, retested, continued to the upside. False break, retested, continued to the upside. So we've seen that a couple times there for pound CHF, and we could be on for that again for USD CAD here on the daily time frame. So if that's the case, probably want to see a bullish candle close today, confirming price is holding that as support, and then tomorrow could scale into some buys back up into this resistance all the way up here, which is around 1.28. And again, if that's the case, the risk reward is looking really good. I'm a swing trader, so I do like to hold my trades in for a couple days or so, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what the range I'm trading with. But yeah, if USD CAD can hold into that, there is a lot of room to the upside. That's 174 pips there to the upside. Again, probably not going to capture every single pip, but with a 25 pip stop loss, you're looking at a really good risk reward there. If you enter like maybe the hourly time frame or whatever time frame you look to enter on. But yeah, USD CAD back up to that resistance if we can confirm price is holding that as support, and I'll probably want to see another daily candle closure just to confirm it. That wick there that we saw 2 days ago, well, not 2 days ago, I think that was Friday, so about 4 days ago now, but 2 candles ago, nice wick to the downside, pulled all the way back up and closed bullish. That there is a really nice sign that we are holding that as support. So I am expecting to see this candle here close bullish. If we don't, and we see price break back below, then that will invalidate the whole setup, and then I'll probably look for some sells to this support here again. But if not, if we can hold it, then yeah, I'll probably be looking for buys tomorrow, and then yeah, see if we can get to 1.28 all the way up there. And it's funny though, because I'm expecting more upside for USD CAD, which would have to mean that we do see some strength for the DXY. And yeah, for the DXY right now, I'm expecting downside. So it kind of contradicts a lot, because I do look at a wide range of pairs, 20 plus. So and a lot of these pairs do have correlations between each other. When I analyze the market, I kind of just focus on that pair alone and just read the price action. So I'm not too fixated on the correlations between pairs when I'm analyzing it. So when I was analyzing USD CAD just now, just looking at the price action there, I was looking at the price action there, so I'm not too focused on what's happening in the DXY. But looking at the DXY now, it doesn't add up too much. But then again, I only need one successful trade. The risk reward I use at least a 3-to-1, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 even as well. So I don't really need to get every trade right. I just need to make sure that I use the same risk reward, and I aim for at least 50% win rate, and that will keep me profitable. So USD CAD, if I do get a buy there, I will take it. If the DXY does fall, okay, doesn't matter, I'll wait for the break and retest here for Euro USD, and just look to take those sells to the downside and potentially win that trade. So it doesn't matter what my bias is really. It just matters if I'm consistent with my analysis and consistent with my trading, and that's just what I'm waiting for. Wait for my confirmations, which I always wait for, and then if I get something, I'll look to get involved there. Yeah, I go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. GMT. So yeah, I go live 3 days a week, and I also do a video on the weekend. I want to be starting to do other videos during the week as well for you guys. But yeah, at the moment, I go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, I mean, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. We love new people on the channel. But yeah, I go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So potentially hope I'll see you guys again tomorrow. But yeah, we still got an hour left of the stream, by the way, so don't you go anywhere. So yeah, USD-CAD potential long, but like I said, I want to wait for the daily candle closure there. So I don't think I'll get into longs today. I'll wait for that tomorrow. But yeah, like I said, just depends what we do with the trend line will determine my bias. USD-JPY is a funny pair. I've been up and down with this pair for the past 2, maybe 3 weeks now. A large amount of the time I'm expecting price to break to the downside. I still sort of am expecting price to the downside, but yeah, because of how we've moved here, yeah, I'm not going to be trading that at all. You know, it's always best to take, you know, the best trades possible you can find. You know, the trades that you have that feeling inside you that it looks like a good trade. Not that it's going to work out, but you just have that feeling that, yeah, I know I just took a good trade there. And looking at this price action, you know, if I take a trade, I definitely won't have that feeling. So I want to stay away from USD-JPY for now. If I was to pick a direction, I would say down, but it's essentially just moving sideways and anything can really happen. So I'll wait to see if we can get more clarity, whether we can get another breakout, or maybe price can start to, you know, show some signs of some lower highs. So something like this, put some lower highs like that, then I'll be like, yeah, we can maybe break to the downside. But as of right now, it's looking like we're going to see another swing back to that resistance, maybe another swing back down again. Maybe you might go for a breakout this time, and then if we can hold that support, now I'll be have that long bias. But for now, I'm just going to stay away from USD-JPY. So not too bothered about this pair. We'll wait for price action to develop a lot more. We'll keep my eye on it, but nothing that I'm going to invest too much in. USD-CHF looking very bullish here. Big move to the upside we just had yesterday, pretty much. Big move there. Again, another pair that has been a little bit choppy, but I can make a lot more sense of this price action than USD-JPY. We're coming back into that resistance, essentially just held this support here, and essentially I probably expect to see price break through this resistance, tap into this resistance up here, and maybe even some high, maybe 0.93 up there. So I'm expecting more upside here for USD-CHF. I'm expecting that resistance to break, but you know, I'm expecting one thing, but if I'm going to trade, it's a completely different thing altogether. Because where we are, you know, at that resistance, I don't want to be buying at that resistance. If anything, I want to see price come back down again from another higher low. Maybe respect this. Oh, let me just draw a trend line with that actually. Maybe respect this trend line that we have going here. As you can see, multiple tests of this trend line. If we come back and retest it, great. Potentially you look for buys there, back into that resistance, and then maybe leave some position on to trickle to the upside. Back into that resistance up here, which I see price going soon. So yeah, I'll probably expect the breakout to the upside, either wait for the breakout or wait for the retrace, maybe back into that trend line for a push, but nothing now. It's just not looking good at that resistance there. But essentially looks like we're getting a bit of a head and shoulders here. Left shoulder ahead, the right shoulder. We're going to be expecting a break of that neckline, you know, and a lot more upside for USD-CHF there. So that's what my analysis behind it. I'll wait for the retracement or wait for the breakout to get in for a potential trade. As of now, there's nothing there yet. NZD, been a bit of a choppy pair recently. Well, If you look at that recent price action, we've obviously been flying to the upside, but as in more recent price action being a little bit choppy. NZJPY, you can see being a little bit choppy. NZCHF still moved to the upside, to be honest, but very weak. And NZCAD kind of moved sideways as well. So we've seen a really strong NZD recently. Now kind of seeing that stall. Either we're going for a reversal, or we're just consolidating for another big move up. So and our job is just to work out which one it is. Essentially, are we reversing, or are we getting prepared for another move up? So far, it is hard to tell, but we are coming to some key levels here for NZD/USD. As you can see here, really nice support previously, which held that consolidation where we had that breakout, and now we're coming back into that same area. And if you do hold into that, then yeah, I would say that NZD/USD could be coming for not a reversal, but I think just some downside. Because if I get a fib on this move here, you can see 50% of this move is just all the way down there. We do have a lot of retracement to do if price decides to retrace. So yeah, I can see a lot more downside, but for now price action is too choppy, so probably wait for it to clear up. You can see how that is there. It's not looking great at all. If that does continue, then we might do something like this, slowly just come up, retest that. Nothing too exciting going on here for NZD/USD really. So yeah, I'm not too focused on this pair, or many NZD pairs really for that matter, just because the price action is quite similar and it's choppy, and that's just not the kind of pair that I want to trade. NZCAD, who had a very big move to the upside recently, as you can see, really shot to the upside there, coming to a very key level of resistance, as you can see here. Really nice resistance there, big support, resistance. We're coming to the level again. You would expect to see some downside here for NZCAD, but yeah, price action is just a little bit choppy. So maybe if we can come up again one more time for maybe a double top there, reject it again, something like that. That could be a nice sign that we could be coming down. Maybe a break of the neckline, retest it, something like that. That could be an option. Let me just draw that again. Break of that. That could be a potential trade there, but not how it looks now. So yeah, that's probably the only thing I could be looking for an NZD pair, NZCAD, but it's not at the top of my watch list, I do have to say. I think for today, EURUSD is probably the main pair I'm focusing on. But yeah, I still need a lot more to happen for me to get into a trade for EURUSD as well, to be honest with you guys. EuroJPY, like I said, I'm looking for a triple bottom down there. Price is ready move to the upside. Excuse me, price already moved to the upside there, so I want to see some retracement now. It's also coming into that trend line there as well, so it's not the best place to buy, buy the market. I want to see some retracement first, higher low, or triple bottom down there, and then yeah, buys back up to 130, 500. But nothing for me right now. CAD JPY, we haven't looked at CAD JPY yet. CAD JPY has been a little bit choppy. Again, still do have that bearish bias from the higher time frames. Expecting price to roll over, but with the price action we're seeing now, we might have another move up. Holding on to this support here from yesterday, and then potentially, could see maybe a drive back into that resistance here. But yeah, it's looking a little bit choppy, so I'm not too interested about CAD JPY as of right now. Maybe if we were to come to the upside, form a double top, that could be something. But yeah, right now I'm not too focused on CAD JPY. A little bit choppy, so we'll probably see a move back up into 87,300. Maybe some shorts could look good from there. But yeah, we'll have to find out when we do get there. Bit of a trend line going on there as well. Pound CHF, let's take a look at that. Which time frame you on pound CHF? 15 minute, just seen a nice bearish candle there. Yeah, I mean pound CHF, like I said, it's at a really nice area of resistance here. So yeah, if you can hold on to that, you know, you're looking at some good downside really. Potentially coming back down this trend line here, that could be something there. First, second, third, could be a fourth there. So yeah, I reckon pound CHF is looking good, but it does need to hold on to that area. Okay, yeah, 15 minutes. So yeah, that does make sense. Nice bearish candle there. That's just closed. So yeah, I mean, Rex is looking like a good trade. It just needs to hold on to that for now. And then if you can leak down, I think maybe a fourth test of that trend line would look good. Yeah, so nice trade there. Where's your TP on it? Do you have a TP or you're just going off the flow? Because trend line looks like a good area. It might push past that. It might even push back to that support there. So yeah, I wonder where your TP is. CAD JPY looking at short at 87. I mean, it is stalling at 87. I don't like how the price action is for CAD JPY. It's too choppy for me. All of this price action here is just buyers and sellers trying to fight each other. You know, try to either drive price down or drive price up, and it's just not moving well. And normally when you see this, it normally works out for the buyers right now, because you've got getting all these wicks to the downside. It's not looking too good. It is definitely stalling at 87, I do have to admit, and 87 is a nice place. 87 is a nice place to sell at. It's a nice psychological level. We also got this, you know, area of supply here on the 1H. So yeah, it's a nice area, CAD JPY, but the price action for me is not good at all. So yeah, I'm not looking at shorting it. If anything, probably say a bit more upside back into there, and then I'll probably short. But for now, yeah, I'm not too interested in CAD JPY for now. So yeah, I have to admit it's a nice place, but I don't like the price action. For me, price action is probably just as important as the area. Area is one thing, price action, you know, is a completely different thing, and it's not looking too good. Maybe that can clear up if we, you know, maybe break through the trend line, start putting some higher lows in. That could look a lot better. Then yeah, I would say shorts will be looking good now. But right now, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Okay, nice Rex. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense there for pound CHF, because we've seen some nice wick rejections there on the hourly, as you can see. So from the hourly, we've seen some nice rejection. So yeah, if we can keep that up, I reckon a fourth test of that trend line, maybe a test of that support if you're lucky. But yeah, it looks like a good trade there, just catching a nice swing off that higher time frame resistance. So yeah, if we can keep that up back to around, you know, depending where we hit the trend line, 1.27600 maybe around here. But yeah, nice trade there, Rex. It's looking good. Just hopefully we can, you know, hold on to that and see a little bit more. Maybe we can go even further, but you know, that's up to you how you want to trade. But yeah, that trend line is looking good. So well done there. CHF is a little bit of a dodgy pair, CHF JPY here. I mean, it is coming to a very key area of support on the daily. So it looks like we might see some strength in the CHF JPY pair, because it is, you know, coming to that daily support. Really strong reactions from this area. So if we can hold on to this, potentially could see a nice swing back up again. Not my favorite pair to trade. I do have to admit that it's not my favorite pair to trade at all. But you know, price action is price action. Is coming to a really nice area. So yeah, if we can keep that up and maintain this as support, I think there could be some nice buyers coming for CHF JPY. Not yet for me though, but yeah, if we can hold that, then yeah, it's looking good. So maybe a pair to look out for. That daily close is quite bearish though, so maybe wait for another day or two to things to settle. But you know, essentially, if we do hold that, buyers will be looking good there for CHF JPY. DXY was still pulling back up there. So yeah, DXY has seen a really nice rejection of this trend line here, and pretty much to the pip. Essentially. So yeah, I mean DXY we still are trend to the upside, but like I said earlier, if we can take out that resistance, then yeah, I'll be firmly biased to the upside for the DXY. If we can take out that trend line, then I'll really be looking for sales. Well, expecting the DXY to fall, but yeah, right now we're having a good rejection of this trend line, so we'll see how far that takes us. 4-hour candle is pulling back quite aggressively there. We've got about 49 minutes or so before that 4-hour closes for the DXY. It doesn't close at the same time as the other Forex pairs, but it's going to close in about 49 minutes, 48 minutes. And with that wick rejection, we'll probably see maybe another push to the upside back into that resistance. So could see some more weakness for the Euro USD. And like I said, if we do get below this level, start holding as resistance, because yesterday we had a false break. Broke below, broke straight back above, used it as support. So if we can break back below again, use that as resistance, then yeah, sales will be looking good for Euro USD, starting at some of these areas down here. Maybe even this support down there, 1.17. So we'll be looking at that for Euro USD. But if not, and the DXY starts to see some downside again, and we start to hold this as support, then like I said, buys, early on the live stream, buys back up to there. But we'll see what happens. We do have some US dollar news coming out late today in about an hour and a half, so I don't think I'll look to enter any trades before then. Well, not an hour and a half from now, 2 hours and a half from now, 1:30 GMT. So yeah, I'm not looking to enter any trades before that. We'll probably wait for the news to go first, things to settle, and then maybe look for things later in the New York session, or just wait for tomorrow, to be honest, for a trade. But yeah, another daily candle closure never hurts. It does help a lot of my trading. I do look at the daily quite a lot. I don't trade the daily, I trade hourly pretty much most of the time. But looking at daily candle closure does help you identify higher time for momentum. So you can use that to your advantage. So if you've got a massive bearish candle on the daily, the chances are the next day is going to be bearish again as well. So you don't really want to buy against that too much. So looking at the daily candlesticks is good. To use it a lot, and as you can see, yesterday's candlestick, really nice wick rejection to the downside, pull back up again. So if we can hold that, because we've got news coming out today in a little bit, that could just break through again or reject and see price go up. And if you close nice and bullish up there somewhere, then if we can get some retracement tomorrow, look for that higher low, scale it back into the resistance up there. If the news takes us bearish and we close firmly below, and we'll look to see if we can get some retest of that, and then sells back again to the downside. No, I don't trade the news. I trade. Well, sometimes I'm in a trade and the news comes out, and I sit through the trade. So if I was in a trade like early this morning or yesterday, and we've got the new US dollar news coming out soon, I'll still stay in my trade throughout the news. I don't exit, because I know some people exit their positions if news is coming out. I just stay in. So my kind of rule is, if I'm in a trade at least the day before or the morning of the news, I'll stay in the trade during the news, because most of the time, I'll probably say about 60 or 70% of the time, the news does move price in my direction. So staying in a trade whilst the news comes out normally does help me out. So if I'm in a trade, I'll sit through the news with it. If I'm not in the trade and the news is about to come out, then I won't try and get in one quickly, because that's when normally my stop loss does get hit. So yeah, if I'm in profit, then yeah, I'll stay in for the news. Most of the time it does help me, but if I'm just about to get into a trade now and the news is coming out in about an hour's time or 2 hours time, then yeah, no, I don't do that. So I'm not in a trade now. Like I said, I wait for things to settle first. So no, I don't trade the news. I'll wait for the news to happen, and then I'll get involved when things settle. But if I was in a trade yesterday, then yeah, I would stay in. But I know some people that just they get out of the trade as soon as they see the news come out or anything. So yes and no, a little bit. But I don't try and guess where the news is going. I just let things happen, really. I don't really look too much into the fundamentals of whether price will be bullish or bearish. I just see whatever happens and just rely completely on my technical analysis, pretty much. Good morning, Jackson. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Now I'll take a look at pound USD and gold for you. Don't worry about that. So yeah, pound USD. Pound USD is looking a little bit bullish here coming into this morning. We did see some news this morning with pounds. So we did see a big move to the upside. Price is looking a little bit bullish right now. I think pound USD is on its way back up to 1.39, which is this daily resistance here. I think we're going to come back and retest that area. So yeah, I'm thinking pound USD a bit more upside. Was looking for buys for this pair back down around here, but as you can see, it's kind of already taken off without me there. So for me, I'm looking for a bit of retracement and then buys back up to here, 1.39. From there could be some nice sells. So I do think we'll probably take out liquidity above these highs here, which we haven't taken out yet. So I can see some more upside here for pound USD. 1.39 might be a nice place to sell if we do get that rejection. So yeah, if you're looking to sell pound USD, I'll probably wait off a little bit, especially if that momentum there, we might lead to the upside a little bit more first. And then I think for 1.39, that will be a nice place to sell the pair. But yeah, it's looking quite bullish now, so I'll probably wait for a bit to sell it, or if anything, if it retraces, that could be a nice short-term buy back up into that resistance. But yeah, if you're looking to sell, I think a little bit more upside first, and then sales could be looking good maybe from that 1.39 area. Gold, I'm expecting more downside for this one. It's already looking quite bearish right now. So if we go on the daily quickly, you can see we've broken through this key level of support, now holding that as resistance with all those wicks there as well. And you can see we're also broken through this trend line here as well. So I'm expecting gold to fall to the downside. We're coming back into this support, so we obviously need to break through that support. But I think gold will probably break through this support here. Maybe not with this move, we might retrace and then break through it, but I think we will break through that area. And targets will be around the 1772 area, which is basically the base of this trend line, the start of the trend line, just taken across here. So that's what I'm expecting gold to head to. If gold can retrace, that would be nice, because that could give us an opportunity to get into some shorts, maybe back into this resistance here. Look at some shorts there and short it back down, into that support. Then maybe leave some positions to trickle on back into these lows, or you can wait for the break and retest of that low to take it to the downside. Any which way, I'm expecting more downside for gold. Basically, back down to trace to the outside at least one more time, and then look to scale to the downside from there. So yeah, I think more downside for the DXY. But hopefully if we can get some retracement, that would be great. If not, we might just go and break through and then wait for the retest to take things further to the downside. But yeah, it's looking like more downside here for gold, especially with that price action we're seeing this morning, and also respecting that trend line as resistance there as well. So if you can keep that up, I think there's a good chance gold will push back down to 1772, maybe even further as well. I know a lot of people will be looking at this area here, this support taken across 1750. We could push down that far as well. Depends how the DXY is looking. If you do see more strength in the DXY, if DXY takes down 92,800, then yeah, we'll be looking very, very good for downside for gold, because you know, as DXY does move up, gold moves down. So if DXY can move up, break through that resistance, yeah, gold could be falling out the sky soon. But yeah, I think sells for gold, so that is my bias for that one. And next kind of main support around the 1772 area. And if you do see that strength come through for the DXY, it might mean that we break through this as support. That is a very strong momentum there on the hourly as well. You can see a really nice strong bearish candle, so we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, the 4-hour candle for the DXY is closing soon. If it closes like that, you know, that is a really nice sign that we're rejecting that trend line, and we'll probably see another swing to go and retest that resistance up there, which is at 92,800, let's say. So a bit more upside for Euro USD. I mean, downside for Euro USD, sorry, for the DXY is going up. Euro JPY is still looking at potential buys. If we can hold that as a triple bottom back into that resistance there, we'll see how that goes. Coming to that trend line right now, so I'm expecting some downside first, and if we can hold that, buys. If we break through, could see some really nice sells, maybe back into some of those levels there. Pound JPY, I'm looking at buys as well, but this one seems to be, you know, pushing off to the upside without me. Was looking to see if we can catch a nice double bottom on this level, but with the news coming in at 7, price just kind of kicked off to the upside. So hoping to see if we can come back down, retest that would be great. And then looking at 153 up there. But yeah, just looking for more buys for pound JPY, but hoping to see some retracement. A lot of these pairs are starting to show some nice movements, and yeah, I'm just waiting for retracements for a lot of them. Hopefully we can do that over New York, or maybe the news coming out soon might do that, so we'll see. Yeah, sure, no problem, Jackson, happy to help. And we're seeing a lot of choppy pairs recently as well. Need them to clear up to see if we can get some better price action. The USDJPY is looking strong, looks like it's pushing to the upside. Again, DXY pushing to the upside is probably having a say of that as well. So yeah, USDJPY is looking strong there. Like I said, probably back into that resistance up there. EuroJPY hoping for that retracement to come through. I reckon USDCAD could be a really nice pair to look at for tomorrow, depending on what happens today with this daily candle. If we can push up, that'd be great. If not, if we start pushing down, then you know, USDCAD might be aiming for this support down here around the 1.25 area. So to be fair, either which way, I think we could be on for really nice shorts or longs. I just want to see how, you know, how we get on with this trend line, whether we're holding as support or as resistance on the daily. So I'll probably wait for tomorrow's candle, well, today's candle to judge that, because that candle yesterday did close quite bearish, and if that momentum continues, close bearish, you know, around there, you know, that's breaking through the trend line again. But if we don't and we hold that trend line as support and push on, close bullish there, that could be a really nice sign that which can continue, and I will be expecting a swing back up to 1.28. So there could be some really nice buys coming on. But yeah, I'll probably wait for the daily candle closure to work out that bias. Pound NZD, we're seeing some upside. Looks like we're finally getting some retracement for this pair, because again, we had quite a big dump to the downside. You know, the move started all the way from that high up here, If I get a fib on that, you can see 50% is around there. So we've still got a lot of retracement to do if price wants to obviously retrace to 50%. But from that move there, I am expecting some retracement. So maybe we might see some more NZD weakness then. If pound NZD is going up, should be seeing some more NZD weakness. So that could be opportunity there. But NZD is not looking great right now. I do have to admit, NZD CAD not looking great as well. We are pushing to the downside there on the hourly. Nice wick to the upside there, but it's just a bit choppy. NZD CHF could see some downside potentially coming back into this area here, but it's not looking great. Pound AUD is still flying off to the upside. Wow, that pair is moving. Definitely a lot of weakness because of that news coming in for Aussie dollar last night, and obviously the strength of the pound that we've seen this morning is flying to the upside. So I mean, that's a good thing for me because I'm looking at price to get to this resistance here for sells. This area here, really nice sell to the downside, nice sell. So I'm looking at price to get there anyway. It just gets there sooner expected. So yeah, I'm looking at sales from there back down into that support. So basically just playing that range that we had previously and just see if we can get a nice push to the downside. So yeah, I'm looking for price to get there anyway, and that could be some really nice sales there from around 1.89 400 back down into that support there. So yeah, we'll be looking at that. Probably Euro AUD is doing the exact same thing, maybe not as much, not as much simply just because pound's really strong right now. But yeah, Euro AUD is pushing to the upside again. We did see a lot of downside. We need to at least retrace some of that move, and we could be coming to some of these levels here. Really nice levels of resistance. Or that level up there as well could be something to look at. So essentially, pound AUD, Euro AUD, they do essentially the same thing. Euro and pound are very, very similar pairs, whilst Aussie, the main pair, and both of them. So you can see that nice uptrend there for Euro AUD, nice uptrend there for pound AUD as well. So when they're in sync and they're moving together, it's a good sign of correlation, and normally trades work out a lot better when that's happening. And they're right now they're very in sync. Obviously pound's a bit stronger, but they're moving quite well. So hopefully pound can get here, show some nice rejection, sales come back down again, and that might mean we might see some strength in the Aussie because we are coming into this support here on the daily. As you can see, really nice support which held that range. So essentially kind of just flipped really. Pound AUD and ADUSD are flipped because we've got this potential head and shoulders forming here. Maybe again, we haven't rejected it yet, but we could be seeing that head and shoulders forming. Pound AUD could be forming that head and shoulders. Obviously you're breaking through the neckline there or coming back in now, but it could be something forming there as well. So something to look at there for those pairs. But again, price action is definitely king. So wait for your confirmation, wait for price to show you are rejecting places, and then look to enter your trades. But yeah, AU is looking still very, very weak right now. I mean, do need to see a big shift in that for that to happen. So we're coming into there. So maybe see some big rejections, and maybe tomorrow there could be some nice buys coming on. But nothing really for me just yet. See ADJY still looking quite bearish there as well. ADCAD's really fallen to the downside, so again that looked like a really good trade earlier, melting to the downside. Again, targets will be this support here. Looks like the weakness of Aussie is going to really help that pair out there. You might see some nice bounce from one of these two levels, but essentially the pair is looking very, very bearish. Probably expect that to continue a little bit more. pound JPY is still flying, so I'm still hoping for that retracement. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. As long as I don't force the trade and I wait for an opportunity, that's the important thing really. If it does move to the upside, you don't catch every single trade, and that's just trading for you. Pound CHF still at that resistance there. Pound CAD, bit of a messy pair this one, coming to a really key level though. Nice strong resistance. Like I said in my weekly analysis, if you guys haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. Link will be in the description, I'm pretty sure. Or you can just check on my channel. But yeah, coming to a very key level, and I said if we can break through this level, which I do expect us to get to do, I think pound CAD could be coming up to the highs up here, testing as wicks. So I think a lot more upside could be coming up for pound CAD, and nice break and retest of that resistance could be a good opportunity there as well. As of right now, we're coming to that resistance again, so I expect more upside. So if anything, I want to see some downside first to retrace, give me an opportunity to get into some buys. Don't want to buy the pair into that resistance, or wait for it to break it and then retest it. But for now, it's looking bullish. Going to stay away, wait for it to show some retracement, then get involved, but not when it's looking like how it is now. But yeah, pound is looking very strong across the board. Euro is looking quite weak there with that candle coming in and the hourly coming in to test that support. So again, that all important zone for me to see what happens for price, if you can reject it or not, and then I'll make my bias up. DXY is still looking quite strong. Another 28 minutes before that candle closes. Another 28 minutes before that candle closes, and if it closes like that, probably expecting a more upside for the DXY, which means your USD, you're probably going to come down. But that could change very, very quickly, because we've got news coming out at 1:30, which might then pull USD back up again, pull DXY back down. So that's the main reason why I'm not looking to get in any trades just yet, especially for those pairs, because I'm waiting for the news to settle first, and then I'll look to enter, and that might even be tomorrow as well. But patience is key in trading anyway, so I'm going to have to exercise patience, sooner or later. Eurocad is still looking bearish here. Massive dump to the downside recently. Again, I think Eurocad is slowly working its way back down to these lows here. Slowly working its way back down to those lows, but I think maybe one more lower high, because our last big swing to the upside, we actually did form a higher high there. But we've taken out so many key levels of support, so I think one more big swing, lower high, and then a dump to the downside, or price just continues like this and just trickles to the downside, which could easily happen as well, because we have consolidated all this time and price does need to relieve itself at some point, and it potentially could be now. So yeah, I think I won't be looking to, if we do see a move to the upside, I won't look to participate in it. Do have a sell bias for this one, so if we do see that happen, I'm just going to get ready to short it back down again, or price starts to trickle like this. I'll look to try and scale in the hourly and try and see if we can snap a bit of that move to the downside. But essentially, this is where I do see price going. for USD back down to 1.63, and maybe you see some new lows there as well. But no, we'll see what happens. If you do see that move, I mean, the risk to reward is looking really good. Might not be hold the trade for that long. This is the daily time frame. But yeah, essentially, price is still looking quite bearish. It's rejecting this level of resistance quite well. So as you can see, really key level of support here. And they've got support, resistance, support, false break, support there as well, holding that at resistance. So maybe if you have another attempt trying to break through that, reject it again, that could be a nice place to short at. Come in again, maybe form a bit of a double top and then short it back down. That could be a really nice trade there. Or like I said, if you break past that, I might send price to the upside and then we can short it down after that. But yeah, USD, I see another dump back down to 1.363. So I'm just going to get ready for that move. That'll probably take maybe a week or two to happen. So I won't, look to target all the way down there. It's probably around 200, 300 pips. Yeah, 300 pips. So I'm not going to look to take a trade for that whole journey. But if you snap, a few pips at a time, 80, 90 pips, which is not a few, still a lot, but that would be a good opportunity there. So I will be looking at that, but I probably want to see a test of that resistance first before I do anything. Or again, like I said, a big move up and then take it down after that. Yeah, but like I said, the main pair I'm focusing on is Euro USD, so we'll see how that gets on with this level. 1.18, nice psychological level as well. So if you can hold that, buys. If you break through, sells. So yeah, that's the main pair we'll be looking at today. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll even put a trade on today as well with the news coming out. Probably wait for after that. So yeah, probably looking at tomorrow potentially, or like I said, maybe late New York session. There could be a possible trade if everything does settle down. But we will see. Only time will tell. Pound JPY still looking for a retracement, but this is moving very, very strong. Pound USD still looking for a push to 1.39, or if we can retrace back down again. But again, this pair is looking strong as well. Pound's looking strong. Yeah, so if there's any pairs that you guys are looking at, feel free to share, drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look at it together, see what any opportunities you got going on. Or if you guys in any trades as well, feel free to share as well. We'll take a look at it, see what's going on. I'm not in any trades personally. I'm looking at Euro USD, but there's not much there. I'm still waiting for the news to come in, waiting for things to settle. So, the trade that I'm looking at now might look a lot different after the news. So I'm mainly waiting for that, but Euro USD is definitely a pair I'm looking at. USD CAD I'm looking at as well, but I might wait for the daily candles to close to see if it breaks through the trend line or holds it. Pound USD, I'm seeing if the price can get to 1.39, which is that resistance there, or retrace a little bit for me, and then I could look for some buys, but I'm not too sure if it will retrace. Pound's looking very, very strong right now. DXY is looking strong as well, holding on to that trend line. Got about 20 minutes before that candle closes, so if it does close like that, I'm probably expecting a move back into that resistance. And if you break through that resistance, a lot more upside for the DXY. which means Euro USD most likely coming back down to these lows here. And again, if that does happen, you know, the risk to reward on that, you know, that's about 130 pips. You know, get a 25 pip stop loss on that. You're looking at now 1 to 5, 20 pips, 1 to 6. You know, if you can get a really nice stop loss, you know, these swings could be looking good. And that's the main reason why I'm a swing trader, because I take less trades and hold my trades on for longer. So altogether, you know, I'm not, you know, overworking myself, not being too stressful, and just making the most out of the trades that I do take. So that's definitely one of the benefits of swing trading, and why I'm looking to swing Euro USD as well. So yeah, we'll see what can happen with that pair, but that's mainly the pair I'm focusing on. Euro JPY as well, but not too much happening there with Euro JPY. CAD JPY, not too much either. Yeah, still moving along that resistance. Looks like it might break through it, to be honest with you. You know, that's why I was saying CAD JPY wasn't looking too good. It's kind of just a bit of a in a rut between the buyers and sellers. And normally when you see price action like this, very choppy with a lot of wicks, normally the buyers do win. Or if this was flipped upside down, the sellers would win. But yeah, I think the buyers will probably break through that resistance and see a move into that resistance there, which is probably just the overall better place to look to short CAD JPY. But obviously still got 18 minutes before that candle closes. NZD CAD sell. So yeah, NZD CAD we were looking at for more downside. I said potentially it would be great to see if price was to come up again, you know, retest this resistance, form a double top, and then there could be some nice sells. But you know, essentially we could still break to the downside, you know, anyway. I do have a bearish bias here for NZD CAD, you know, after the huge move that we saw to the upside here for NZD CAD. I'm looking for price to finally retrace, and it's coming to a really key level here of resistance here as well. So as you can see here, you know, massive move to the downside there previously, big move to the upside from that support as well. You know, nice resistance there as well, maybe a slight false break, and now we're into that same area there again. So I'm expecting to see, you know, a reaction from that. It's at 0.9, nice psychological level, you know, on the dot, nice round number. I'm going to expect to see a reaction from that. So yeah, NZD CAD is looking good for more downside. Again, I don't think anything too major though, just because, you know, overall we have seen, you know, a lot of upsides from this pair. So I don't want to go against that too much, but you know, I think we could see, you know, potentially move back down into this area here, retest that support here, maybe some upside from there, might move down further. But yeah, I think NZD CAD back down to at least this area around 0.89600 does look good. So yeah, NZD CAD shorts is looking good, I do have to admit. You know, if it would be nice to push up one more time to give us, you know, a slightly better risk to reward, or that double top that I've been speaking about. But with that momentum that we're seeing there, if that does continue, you know, got 16 minutes before that candle closes. If you can close similar to how we're looking now, then there's a good chance that NZD CAD will just roll over, you know, into the support down there. So yeah, NZD CAD is looking like a good trade there. And yeah, I agree with the direction as well. So hopefully we can see some downside there for NZD CAD. And again, with CAD trying to move up as well, it means that we might be seeing some CAD strength, CAD CHF trying to push up, CAD JPY trying to push up. So yeah, CAD strength as well would help NZD CAD out. And it looks like we might be seeing CAD strength. I mean, AUD-CAD is really falling to the downside as well, and AUD-CAD and NZD-CAD do move quite similar. So, you know, if AUD-CAD is really going to fall to the downside like this, there's a good chance that NZD-CAD could start to follow behind it and start to fall as well. I know AUD had a helping hand with the news from last night, but you know, they do move quite similar. When AU is weak, normally NZD is weak as well. So we could see NZD start to catch up with AU, start to become weak, maybe over the day, maybe next day or two. But yeah, I think the weakness for NZD could be, you know, just be late coming. So I think NZD CAD could follow behind it. NZD CHF, that could be one that's taken a dive to the downside. Finally, you can see we had a massive move to the upside, you know, a very, very big move, so we could be seeing some downside for that pair soon. You know, we've got some nice levels in the market here. That price has just recently broken through, used that as support, but we could be coming back into resistance. Oh, could be coming back into resistance up here, potentially, and then sell from there. You know, there's some wicks there that price might want to take out first before coming down. So I'm expecting some downside for these pairs. They might trickle to the upside a little bit more, but I think the bigger move, you know, the sharper move, the more impulsive move for these pairs is down, because they do need to see some retracement eventually for these pairs, and I think it could be coming up this week maybe. Just need to see some weakness in the New Zealand dollar. Yeah, Euro USD is looking very, very bearish here. Still got 12 minutes or so before that candle closes, but you can definitely see we're seeing some strength in the US dollar at least, maybe some weakness in the euro. DXY pushing up, like I said, you know, if we can get candle closures like that, chances are DXY will probably push into that resistance, which means a lot more upside for the DXY and some downside for Euro USD. Maybe some downside for pound USD as well if that can continue, because the strength, the weakness the strength in the DXY, sorry, would take this down. Again, maybe that strength in the DXY could help push USD CAD up, because that still needs some work to do if it wants to hold that trend line. On the daily, of course, not 4 hour. USDJPY might come down, but it doesn't look like it. It's still very strong. USDCHF, I'm still expecting that to push up past that resistance into these highs up there, around 0.926600-ish. So still expecting more upside for USDCHF, but like I said, it's either, if we're looking to trade, it's either price retraces back down for us, forms a higher low, you know, retesting that trend line, that would be great. Already had 2, 3, 4. We'll be looking for the 5th test of that, or the break and retest option. You know, that could be a really nice trade as well, back into those highs up there. Don't really want to take a trade coming into that resistance there. So you want price to retrace or go up further and then retest. Gold coming down, you know, with the DXY looks like it's pushing up, so yeah, I expect gold to come down anyway. Gold to come back down into this support is looking good here. And if we can come into that support, reject it, then yeah, so I think we could be pushing down to 1752 all the way down there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for gold. I do have that bearish bias, and I think if you can retrace, that would be great, because we kind of had a nice sell-off there. But we do have news coming up for US dollars, so I'm not too sure what impact that will have on gold, whether we might see some crazy upside or it might just sell off now. That well could definitely happen. That sell-off could well happen with that news, depending if it's bearish or bullish for the DXY for US dollar. But yeah, won't be really entertaining buys if we do start to push off and reject the support. And I think that's just getting ready for some sells again to take it down, or like I said on the break and retest, that could be another option there as well. But essentially, all I'm seeing right now is more downside for gold. So if you can pull up again, great. And targets will be this support there, and then potentially this support all the way down there, 1750s. I do think we could get there, but we do need to see a lot more upside for the DXY for that to happen. But I think it's capable of happening as well. Pound JPY is still looking very, very strong here, pushing up. Again, I think pound JPY is on off to 153 up there. So might look for sales up there, to be honest. If I can't get the buys here, then maybe some sales from there. Temporary sales could look good, but with this price action, it's definitely hard to sell this market or sell this market and hold on to it. So maybe quick sales on the lower time frames could be a good way to go. But looking at that hourly, 4 hourly, trying to hold that and trying to put a nice swing into the downside for shorts doesn't look good. It's definitely looking like a better option to buy the pair. Not where it is now, of course. It's really just pushed on. If it was to retrace, that could be another opportunity to buy the pair up. But if anything, maybe some short-term sells from that resistance there could be good. You can see on the daily time frame, really nice resistance going through here. So if you can hold on to that, sales will be looking good there. But obviously, still got a long way to go before we hit that resistance up there. But yeah, pound still looking strong. Pound AD almost at that resistance. So again, another pair I do have on my watch list looking for sales, coming back into this resistance 1.89400. Formed a really nice range here before it did break to the outside, broke back down. So I'm looking to see if price can actually respect one of these levels now and just see some downside back into that support. So that's what I'm looking for pound AUD. And with the momentum that we saw for pound, the weakness that we saw from the Aussie dollar, sorry, it has carried us into that resistance. So I'm just looking for price to keep up that rejection. And if we do, sales back down to 1.87, 800 do look good. So we'll be looking for that to happen later today, stroke coming into tomorrow. And yeah, looking for sales. If we do go and break through it, then we might just be heading back to the highs. To be honest, we might be heading back to these highs and use that support. That'd be a nice opportunity, the break and retest. But yeah, looking to see how price respects that level, and then we'll make my decision off that. But we still do have a little bit to go, to be honest, to actually get there. Okay guys, so it is coming up to the end of the stream, so I'm going to do a quick rundown on some of the pairs that we're looking at, and some pairs that I do have on my watch list, some pairs that I'm looking to trade, and then we'll call it there for the stream. But yeah, EURUSD is definitely a pair that I'm looking at trading, after the news, either if we're going to hold that support, looking for buys back up to there, or if we're going to break through, looking at sells on the retest back down into these lows down there, just under 1.17. So just depending what we do, and basically the level is just basically that high taken across there. So it's basically what we do to that level. Again, wait for news. We've got about an hour and a half for that, so we'll see what happens there. Pound JPY, looking at buys for this one, or sells if we get from there. If we get to that without coming back down, looking for that retracement, and then buys back up here. But like I said, pound is so bullish this morning, or today anyway at least. We might be pushing further to the downside. We might not push further to the downside and just see price continue, and then from here sells could look good, but as of right now there's not much there. Pound USD, again, still looking bullish. Like I said, 1.39 could be a nice place for sells. Not too interested where price is right now, however. Also USD CAD, waiting for a daily candle closure for that one, because we could be seeing some nice buys or sells for this one. If we do hold the trend line, had a nice fake out there, so if this is the retest of the trend line, I'm expecting a nice drive back into that resistance up there. So I'm going to wait for a daily candle closure to see how this candle closes, whether we break through or we pull back up and close nice and bullish. If we do close nice and bullish, then we'll scale into tomorrow to look for buys back into that resistance up there. If we don't and we pull back, we'll look for sales to take it back into that support down there for USD CAD. But essentially just going to see how price reacts with that trend line. If we can hold it, buys back up to that resistance. If not, sells back into that support down there. And gold as well, I'm looking at more sells for this one. Do have a bearish bias for gold. Looking at another dump back down into 1772 and potentially 1750. Price is looking quite bearish right now. It's trapped in that support, so we might see some retracement, but like I said, that retracement is probably just another excuse to get into some sells if of course we get nice valid setup. But essentially we're holding that trend line, we're holding that resistance, and I'm expecting another sell off for gold back into the support down there. Finally Euro JPY as well, looking to see if we can get another triple bottom here. First, second, looking for a third test. We do have to hold this support, and if we do, we'll be looking at buys back up to 130, 500, but I think a bit of retrace first before we do see that. So looking at buys for Euro JPY, we'll see what happens here for Euro USD. Might be sells the way things are going. The XY is looking quite bullish here. Very nice closure there to the upside. So yeah, I'll probably say a bit more downside for Euro USD, but then the news, everything could change quite quickly. If the news is bad for the dollar, then Euro USD could see a lot of upside, or vice versa. So we'll wait to the news to happen, wait for things to settle, and then I'll determine my bias. But right now it's looking quite bearish there. So we'll see how that happens. But that is essentially the end of the live stream, guys. We'll be live again tomorrow, breaking down the chart. So I hope I do see you guys again tomorrow, Wednesday, 10 a.m. GMT to 12 p.m. GMT. I hope I see you guys there. No problem, Bella. Thanks again for watching. Does mean a lot, guys. Do appreciate all of you guys watching the stream. If you've liked the stream, much appreciated. If you haven't, why not? If you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel. More than welcome to join the family. Much appreciate you guys joining the stream here. But I hope you all have a great day, and I hope I will see you tomorrow. But yeah, hope you all have a good day, good trading, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.